Sophie was alone at home. Her husband, David, had gone on a business trip. His younger brother, Lucas, stayed in the guest room. That night, rain fell hard outside. Sophie and Lucas sat on the couch watching a movie, their hands touched by mistake. They looked at each other. Something strange happened. The silence between them felt heavy. Sophie felt her heart beat fast. Lucas smiled softly but said nothing. It was just a small touch, but it left a big mark. That night, Sophie couldn't sleep. And Lucas stayed awake, thinking about the feeling of her skin. Sophie tried to stay normal, but Lucas looked at her differently now. He noticed her smile, her eyes, her voice. Sophie felt strange. She knew it was wrong, but she didn't stop him. Lucas started doing small things for her, bringing tea, helping in the kitchen, smiling more. Sophie's heart started dancing. One day, while folding clothes, Lucas stood close behind her. She turned around, and their eyes met. For a second, it felt like time stopped. Neither spoke, but both felt something. Sophie walked away fast. But her heart stayed there, right in that moment, with Lucas. Lucas tried to stay away, but Sophie kept coming into his thoughts. She was kind, soft, and lonely. Lucas didn't want to break his brother's trust, but his heart didn't listen. One evening, Sophie baked cookies. The sweet smell filled the house. Lucas came to the kitchen. "Smells good," he said. She smiled. "Want to try?" she asked. He took a bite. "Delicious," he whispered, looking at her lips. Sophie looked away, but her face turned red. They stood close, too close. A small spark lit between them. That spark didn't go away. It was only getting stronger. David was still away. The house was quiet. Sophie and Lucas were alone again. They watched a movie at night. Slowly, Sophie leaned on Lucas's shoulder. He didn't move. His heart beat faster. The room was dark, and only the TV light glowed. Lucas put his arm around her gently. Sophie looked up at him. Their faces were close. For a moment, it felt like the world stopped. But they didn't kiss. Not yet. Sophie stood up quickly. "I'm going to bed," she said. Lucas nodded. But that night, they both knew something had changed forever. Sophie couldn't stop thinking about Lucas. She avoided him, but her heart didn't listen. One evening, Lucas came to her with coffee. "I made it for you," he said. She took it with a smile. They sat together, quiet. "Why are you avoiding me?" Lucas asked. Sophie didn't answer. He touched her hand softly. She looked into his eyes. Then it happened. A soft, quick kiss. Just for a second. Sophie pulled back. "This is wrong," she said. Lucas nodded. But that kiss stayed in their minds, burning like fire. It was the beginning of something they couldn't stop. After the kiss, Sophie kept her distance. She felt guilty. Lucas tried to talk to her, but she didn't let him. David returned home. Everything looked normal, but it wasn't. Lucas acted cold. Sophie looked tired. One night, she cried alone in the bathroom. Her heart was full of confusion. Lucas stayed in his room, writing letters he never sent. They missed each other, even in the same house. Their hearts wanted to speak, but the world around them said no. Love was growing, but it was locked behind closed doors, silent and scared. Lucas couldn't take it anymore. He started packing his things. Sophie saw him and asked, "Where are you going?" He didn't look at her. "I can't stay here," he said. "It hurts too much." Sophie's eyes filled with tears. "Please don't go," she whispered. Lucas walked away. That night, before leaving, he sat on the couch. Sophie came and sat beside him. They didn't speak. They just held hands. The clock ticked. The silence said more than words. "I love you," Sophie said softly. Lucas closed his eyes. "I know," he replied. But then he walked out the door. Days passed. Sophie felt empty. She couldn't pretend anymore. One evening, she told David the truth. She told him about the feelings, the kiss, and the pain. David was shocked. He didn't speak. He packed his things and left the house. Sophie broke down crying. The house was quiet now, too quiet. She called Lucas, but he didn't answer. She sat on the same couch, alone this time. Her world had fallen apart. But deep inside, she didn't regret loving Lucas. She only regretted the timing, the place, and the pain it brought to everyone. Sophie lived alone now. The days felt long. One rainy evening, someone knocked at the door. It was Lucas. He looked tired, older. "I heard what happened," he said. Sophie nodded, tears in her eyes. "I missed you," she whispered. Lucas stepped in. They sat on the couch, just like before. But this time, it felt different. No fear, no hiding. "I never stopped loving you," he said. Sophie held his hand. "I still love you too," she replied. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Sophie and Lucas began a new life. But it wasn't easy. Friends judged them. Family turned away. People talked behind their backs. But they stayed together. They worked, they laughed, they cried. Their love was strong, but heavy. They often sat on the same couch where it all began. "Do you ever regret it?" Sophie asked once. Lucas held her hand. "Never," he said. They knew they had hurt others. But they also knew they had found something true. Not every love story is accepted. But